Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are, whatever time zone you're in. So today's talk is about something I've mentioned in other sermons, but I don't think I've ever done a complete sermon on it. But I think it's really important. It's worth mentioning. I think it's worth for a talk. And that is the importance of loving yourself. Not just loving yourself, but loving yourself fully. If I were to ask all of you, do you love yourself? I think the majority, if not all, people would say, yes, I love myself. But if I were to say, do you love yourself fully and completely? Some of you might think about it. Do I? And these questions I'm posing to you, I'm posing to myself. Can we love ourselves fully and completely? What does it take? I think it's really important to try at least to love ourselves fully and completely. And I'll begin to tell you why. Some people get the misunderstanding of you loving yourself. They think, well, I can't love myself because that's drawing so much attention to myself. That's really, I'm just being selfish because if I love myself too much, that love's not going to go out to others. But I think it's the opposite of that. We know there are different forms of love. And I think some forms perhaps are not love, they're false. If you love someone only for what they do for you, I think that would be a false kind of love. Yes, we're coming to this world, we're babies, and we have the full attention of our parents, and we literally need them for our lives. That's one thing, but to carry on in life and wanting always to get everything, every need met by others is a false kind of love or attention. The love I'm talking about is not an egoic love, if I'm using the correct term, meaning I love myself because I am better, I am smarter than you, I am more spiritual than you. Some people think they are very spiritual, but when you hear them talk, they don't sound so spiritual. I heard an interesting comment, and I mentioned him before, Lee Harris. I try to watch him as much as I can. I don't know if it's one of his monthly chats or an interview. He said, I'd much rather be stuck in an elevator with an atheist who is kind and loving and caring than with a spiritual person that didn't have these qualities, but who called himself a spiritual person. And I think I agree with him. If at your heart level, you're not kind and caring and compassionate for others and other beings, how can you call yourself spiritual? So I thought that was really smart. So what I write down here as way of notes, I wrote, when you love yourself fully, there is no judgment. Don't we judge ourselves like every day? Am I making that up? I think we do. And we don't even realize that we do it unconsciously. Oh, I made a mistake. I didn't do something. How bad of me. I was supposed to call somebody, I forgot. I was supposed to do this errand, I forgot. I know I judge myself. As I get older, I can't eat certain things that I used to, like spicy foods or things with a lot of sauces. So part of me wants craves those things, and I'll have a meal, and in the evenings, like, oh, I shouldn't have done that. Shouldn't have done that. I'm paying for it now. How stupid am I? But what I should be saying is, you made a mistake, learn from it, right? So I wrote down on a sheet here something to say to ourselves. I am perfect as I am, and I can always improve in some ways. So I wrote that down. I thought, does that make sense? I am perfect as I am, but I can improve. But I'm looking at it now and I'm thinking, I think what I was trying to get across is we are perfect in each and every moment. We're as perfect as we can be at that moment. We've done all we can. We've done the best that we can. But we can say to ourselves, there are some things that I can improve in myself. Instead of, I've really screwed up and I have to fix those things, that's pretty harsh. Or who am I? I failed. We have to get that language out of our minds. What is that computer term? People would say garbage in, garbage out, but delete.
Delete, control, delete.
Something, delete, control, delete, anyway.
Yeah.
Thank you. I thought an analogy in terms of loving ourselves, because I really truly believe when we love ourselves fully, completely, we are better able to love others. So I thought of this analogy. If you have a plant, let's say it's a tomato plant, I grow tomato plants, and you plant your tomato plant in really poor soil. And it's in this area that gets very little sun. And then you water it with like dirty dishwater or sewer water or something. Give it no fertilizer. Do you think that plant is going to survive or thrive? I don't think so. And if it were somehow to bear fruit miraculously, would you want to eat that fruit from how it's been conditioned, how it's lived its life? I would feel very sad for that tomato plant. So it's kind of like humans, I think, in a way. If each and every day, all we think about, all the faults we have, and we hear people telling us, you're not good enough, you're bad, you're wrong, you're this, you're that, whoever these people are, or even social media, whatever, if that was feeding into us, do you think then we'd be, oh, I'm just going to ignore that and start loving everyone around me? It would be much more difficult. So the meditation I did, I've just mentioned again, I learned that from a book. He has many books, Mantak Chia, Mantak, first name, last name Chia. He is a Taoist persuasion, philosophy of religion. He was born in Thailand. He's in his 80s now. So if you can get one of his books from the library or buy it, I highly recommend it. Another thought that came to me this morning was, when we're really engaged with something, we love doing it. And we put our love, because we have this love for it, into what we're doing. An example is, most of us, or many of us, have a mother or a grandmother that is a wonderful cook, home-cooked meals. And you have whatever that they've cooked for you, whether a soup, a stew, a hearty meal. I like hearty meals in the winter. So you eat this food and you just feel there's love in it. Isn't there a phrase about, oh, this she's added her love to it. She gave love to the recipe, to the food. It wasn't just carrots and onions and broth and meat and whatever she put into the stew or soup. It's her love. She loves doing it. Because as she's making this meal, your mother, grandmother, whoever, she's thinking, when I'm done with this, it's all cooked and done. I want to give it to my child, my grandchild, whoever, somebody who visits. I was fortunate to have two wonderful, loving grandmothers. One who lived a distance away, but my parents, myself and my immediate family would go to grandma's on Sunday, and cousins would join us. We'd be a great gathering of family. And of course, our grandmother would make a sumptuous meal that the aunts would add with other dishes. That was her thing. She was in her element. And sometimes you would just visit at other times. And you know, relatives or friends like this are like, come down, I'll have some food for you. Whether you've eaten or not, you have to accept it, right? Because it's their love. They're extending their love. So know that as you have a passion for something, you do it and you give someone a gift that comes through that passion, you're giving a part of yourself. And you can do that because you love yourself as you do it too. You feel fully alive. When you love yourself fully, and I wrote this down too, you are aligned with the universe and with infinite intelligence. When you love yourself fully, it has to be a natural law. You are in line with the universe and infinite intelligence. And in closing, I thought of two characters that we all know who sort of found the love inside themselves, and it changed them forever. And they're two Christmas characters, Ebenezer Scrooge. Ebenezer Scrooge starts out the whole story being this nasty curmudgeon, is very cheap, doesn't want to give to charities, doesn't say hello to people. At the end, because of what he went through, ends up finding the love inside of himself that was always there, and wants to send that love to others. And he sends a turkey, has a turkey sent to the Cratchit, is that the Cratchit family? Yes. And the second one is the Grinch, right? The Grinch, this smirking character. He wants to, first he's taking toys away from the children, and then something overcomes him. That's the love pounding in his heart. And in the version I'm used to, you see the animation of the heart getting, 10, 20 times bigger. This is what happens to us when we feel the love inside of ourselves. So don't be ashamed of loving yourself fully. It's natural. It's part of natural law. And when we do this and become who we truly are, we can give more fully to others. And what better time to do that during the season of lights, I think spiritualists call this, all these holidays coming up. So I leave that with you. Namaste. Thank you.